Joining us today is Debo Williams because Debo, obviously we know we're just about a month and a half away until football camp starts up. But before we get to what's been going on with you and the team getting ready for the upcoming season, the reason why we have you on today is to promote your camp coming up this weekend. It's going to be over in Lexington at White Knoll, the Debo Williams Youth Football Camp. I know you've been doing some camps back in Delaware, but how special is it to be able to do it here in South Carolina for the first time?
Man, it's very special. I love it because I've been able to try to create a fan base out here in South Carolina. So just to be able to finally bring a camp out here, man, it's a blessing, definitely. So I'm hoping for it to go great, which I know it will for sure.
Yeah, so it's going to be taking place from 8:30 a.m. to noon. You're going to be joined by a couple of your teammates. I know that you've mentioned Tonka Hemingway, Lenore Sellers. Do we have any other players right now that are committed?
We got a lot more coming, my boy. Right next to me, Bam Martin Scott going to be there. O'Donnell Fortune, Nick Emanwari, a couple more offensive players coming. So definitely got some guys that's going to be there for sure. Some surprises.
So if there's some kids out there right now that haven't registered, how can they do that? Can they show up? Do they just go online?
Yeah, you can go online, any links that I have on my platforms. But honestly, if they want to, they can just show up. We're not turning any kids away, so you can just show up.
There we go. There we go. So check this out again this Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to noon over at White Knoll. What can these kids expect? What can these kids expect? Because obviously when you have an opportunity to play in the SEC, and I know you have dreams of being able to play much further after your this final year of college football. And I say final because it feels like it's been forever covering you, man. But what can they expect?
Yeah, first thing is going to be fun. That's what we do. We always have fun because if you're not having fun, there's no point in playing the sport. So, you there?
Yep, I'm here. I was just giving it to you, man. I was giving you the whole table. Here you go.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. So we just first things first, we're going to have fun. Second, we're going to work hard because that's what it takes. You got to put the work in, but you also got to love the game. That's why I say fun is first. But yeah. And then you're gonna learn from great players. I wish when I was in Delaware, I had guys that was doing their own camps. I wish I could have went to their camps, but we didn't really have anybody there doing that, So I'm trying to do it in Delaware and South Carolina, and then God willing, I go to that next level. I want to be able to create a fan base there as well too. Start doing it there.
How neat is that though? Because with being able with name, image, and likeness, you can use your name now to promote, to be able to have camps like this. And I think when we talk about NIL, it feels like the negative stuff gets brought up more than anything else. But we've seen this with you. We've seen this with Takarion Joyner in the past. I know Lenore Sellers has been involved, Luke Doty. I know Connor Shaw has been getting a lot of the current athletes involved. How cool is that, though, to be able to see it? And what would you tell people about that side of NIL that kind of just gets lost in the mix?
Yeah, it's a blessing, man. Like NIL wise, if you're doing the right things, you can change your life, you can change your family's life, And I know a lot of negative stuff come with it because you got players that would just up and leave a school, So I know a lot of people don't like it for that aspect, but it's definitely a blessing. And then camps wise, like to be able to bring that to South Carolina or even what I do in Delaware, to be able to have opportunities like that, it's just a blessing. That's all I could really say. Like, just thank God for the opportunities that are given to me.
Well, a player that has not got up and left South Carolina is you, and you're heading into another season of Gamecock football. We talked about it in the spring with you. You said you have unfinished business. You have a chip on your shoulder. What has this offseason been like for you in comparison to some off seasons maybe in the past? Does it feel like this summer's flying by as you get ready for your final year as a Gamecock?
Yeah, it's going by too fast. I'm just really trying to just take everything in and appreciate everything, and just being the best leader I could be, because I was able to come into myself and be the leader I know I can be last season, but now I'm trying to perfect that and be even better and keep growing and keep bonding with my team so we can come together and win.
What has it been like the last couple of weeks? We were talking off camera about it. It's been going on for about like 3.5 weeks or so, the off-season training. I've heard stories in the past about how crazy they get. And certainly when you look at the temperature over the last couple of days, I know it's staying hot out there, so I can't even imagine. What are you guys doing? Is it getting crazy out there?
Yeah, no, our workouts are no joke. It's always been like that since I got here for sure. And I've always done 2-a-days every day to try to get ahead, and just so we'll have hard workouts in the morning. And then whenever we don't work on that day, I try to do the opposite and just get that extra work in. But it's tough, but we've been doing a lot of team bonding too. That's been a big thing for us, just bringing everybody together. So, but that heat is no joke for sure.
No question about that. I'm still getting acclimated. I'm a New
Yeah.
Englander. I've been down here now since 2016, 15 if you go back to my Mississippi day for a year. Yeah, I still can't adjust to it. So I didn't have to do 2-a-days in this. We had to do it up north for D2 ball. But man, God bless you guys.
What school did you
But
go to?
I went to Assumption, same school Carlins Patel went to. So
I had a teammate from high school that went there and played safety. So
there we
that's why.
go. Yeah, and
Yeah.
our coach is over at James Madison now. So shout out to Coach Chesney. So the interesting thing is because obviously, like you mentioned in the spring, you have a chip on your shoulder. You want to be able to go play at the next level. But from a team standpoint, and I know you're a big team guy, when you look at this defense and what
Yeah.
this defense could be this season, especially with what you guys are able to do towards the end of the year, I know on the outside, a lot of people will make a big fuss about it when you're talking about
Yeah.
the schematics of a 3-3-5 compared to a 4-2-5. You know, at the end of the day, maybe run fits change a little bit, but at the end of the day, you got to get the job done.
Exactly.
But I just feel like this defense, more than anything, what it showed with the 3-3-5, you're throwing an extra guy out there like a Bam Martin Scott. You throw an extra guy out there that has some speed. And I feel like defensively, the speed part of it is what really stands out to me. I mean, is there anything that you would add to that? Or do you think it's just going to be speed being the biggest thing for you guys?
Yeah, nah, it's everything's gonna come together this year, man. We were pretty young last year, but that's no excuse. And when we coming through, we literally a lot of guys were seeing if I was coming back because it was either I was gonna go to the NFL or I was coming back to South Carolina. And that was my whole thought process. But we literally had a group chat, me and a lot of the guys on the defense, just regarding whether we was gonna come back or not. And that's the brotherhood that I think that's really just gonna push us through the roof this season because we could have did. I could have went to the NFL. A lot of players could have transferred out if they wanted to, especially with the NIL stuff now. But we decided to come back as a group, and that's why I know we're going to dominate this season. You know, so I just can't wait to see. I know
I
we're going
want
to
to
be.
read a quote that one of your teammates, Jalen Kilgore, said recently in an interview. I don't know if you've
Okay.
heard this. He was talking about what the linebackers looked like in practice in the spring. And this is a direct quote from him. He said, quote, "First day of pads, I thought somebody was going to die. I'm not going to lie. Everybody knows how Debo is. He's coming to take your head off and kill you. Now, at linebacker, we have 4 of them. So everybody at that position is thinking like that now. In practices, linebackers are crushing the running backs, but the running backs are coming at them too, though. It's not like the running backs aren't responding back. They're coming with it too.
Yeah.
What is that linebacker room looking like right now? And I know from just getting to know you over the last couple of years, I know it's not a finished product. I know you will say that. So I'll take those words right out of your mouth.
Yeah.
But what is it looking like and what can that room look like ultimately as you guys head into this season?
Definitely not even just the top in the SEC, but the top linebacker core in the nation, man. We got my boy Galley that just came from Pitt, my boy D Knight that just came from Charlotte, and those dogs, man, they bring competition to the room, and I love it. And then we also got players that was already here that's going to do their thing. You know, Mokaba, my boy Ronnie Porter, Jamie and Risher. We got guys, my boy Colin Bryant, and then you know me and Bam still here. So I can't wait to see it. But we push each other every single day, and then as far as the mentality, man, I've been going at it for years and years. Because when I first got here, and I was like, "Yo, if a running back got the ball, somebody got the ball. I'm trying to kill him when I run through him." People was looking at me crazy, but I stand on that, and I still mean that. And the defense has just kind of just been taking over with it, and you know, and everybody's starting to grasp to it, especially the linebackers. Definitely, especially the linebackers for sure. So
Yeah.
it's fun.
You mentioned those new additions. One player I do want to ask you about because we've heard Shane Beamer mention him a couple times this offseason, whether it be at his welcome home tours, even going back to before the spring game. And I think Gamecock fans, they haven't heard enough about him and just how he's been doing. So some of them, I don't want to say they forget all about him, but I think it's easy to overlook him, is Mokaba. I mean,
Yeah.
even 50% of Mokaba, you get something pretty talented because of what he was been able to show when he is healthy. Have you been able to talk with him at all? Have you been seeing him at all in terms of getting ready for this season? And what can you tell us about Mo?
Yeah, yeah, he's just been rehabbing heavily. He's good. He's in a good thought process right now, good mentally. But he's been doing 2 days with me, just getting back right and getting ready. So, but he's in no rush either, you know.
Yeah,
So he's gonna be good, and just having him in that room as a veteran like me myself. So, that's really my dog. He's gonna be good for
I was
sure.
gonna say, even for a guy like yourself, but especially for the younger players. I mean, what can a guy like that who's gone through so
Yeah.
much over these last couple of years, what can that do in terms of just motivating not just the linebackers, not just the defense, but the other players that are going through the workouts right now, getting ready for this season?
One thing is this thing can be cut from you at any moment. His injuries like tearing ACLs or anything, you got to give all you can because it could be over just like that. So that's the first thing. But secondly, just you got to put in the work, man, and it'll pay off for sure. So I can't wait to see what he do. He got to keep putting in that work like he always does, and wishing the best for him for sure.
Before I let you get going, got a wing eating contest this weekend.
Yes,
And I know
sir.
that a couple of your teammates are going to be out there. There's going to be some basketball players out there as well. Let me read off the names right here. From a basketball standpoint, you got Nick Pringle, you got Colin Murray Boyles, you got Zachary Davis. But from football, you have TJ Sanders, Nick Barrett, Ja'Kai Moore, and then the reigning champ, Vershawn Lee. Now, as of this interview, things could change. Things could, some more people could be on that table. This is going to be taking place over at the CB18 Bar and Grill on Saturday. It's free. Come on by and enjoy it. I just gave you the names, man. You've seen, especially the football guys, you've seen these guys eat. Who you going with? If you had to put your money on it, who you taking?
Yeah, no offense to the basketball guys, but I think y'all should just sit this one out. I don't know if y'all wide enough to finish this one off. So I know TJ gonna start off strong, but I don't think he's gonna be able to finish it. I think Nick Barrett is gonna give Vershawn Lee a run for his money, but I think Vershawn is gonna hold off and be a two-time champion.
What do you personally feel like you need to be able to do to not only help your draft stock this year, but to be able to help this team be able to achieve some of the goals that you guys do have this season?
I came back this year simply for one thing. This is a legacy year, and it has nothing to do with individual stats. I felt individual wise, I did all I could do last season. I got all ACC. That's what I wanted to do. I had a 100 tackle season. That's what I wanted to do. I also wanted to win. We didn't complete that goal. We didn't win enough. So this year, even more than what it was last year, is just all about winning. I could care less about the individual stats. I'm trying to win. I'm trying to go out as one of the best linebackers ever played for the University of South Carolina. I want to go out like the guys that was here back in 2011, 2012. You know why I remember so much? Because they won. We got to win. So that's what I'm here to do, so I can finish off this legacy at University of South Carolina.
Well, there we go. Gamecocks reporting to camp in about a month and a half, and hopefully you got my vote for whatever it's worth. I hope that you're going to be heading out to Dallas. I know you guys won't be finding out about that until probably the next couple of weeks. We'd love to see you represent the team out there at SEC Media Days. Again, Debo Williams Youth Football Camp this Saturday at White Knoll High School, 8:30 a.m. until noon. Debo, appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.